Hello, sports fans. Welcome to RV'ing with Luck. I'm Ralph Luck. Today's topic is a little somber, but bear with me because as I go through it, at the end I'll explain really how this personally affected me recently and has made some major changes in my life. So I'm going to be going over PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So first I'm going to just read you some stuff from the Mayo Clinic. PTSD is a mental health condition that's caused by an extremely stressful or terrifying event, either being part of it or witnessing it. Symptoms may include flashbacks, nightmares, severe anxiety, and uncontrollable thoughts about the event. Most people who go through traumatic events may have a hard time adjusting and coping for a short time. But with time and taking good care of themselves, they usually get better. If these symptoms get worse, last for months or years, and affect the ability to function, they may have PTSD. Ninja, really? Sorry, that was Ninja intruding on us. Some symptoms. PTSD symptoms may start within the first 3 months after a traumatic event, but sometimes symptoms may not appear until years after the event. These symptoms last more than 1 month and cause major problems in social or work situations and how well you get along with others. They can also affect your ability to do your usually daily tasks. Generally, PTSD symptoms are grouped into 4 types: intrusive memories, avoidance, negative changes in thinking and mood, and changes in physical and emotional reactions. They may vary over time from person to person. So now that we've got the Mayo Clinic definition out of the way, I wanted to give you some personal insight. So I was first diagnosed with PTSD in about 2004. And after my discharge from the Army in 2011, it progressively got worse. Surprisingly, during my time in the Army, I didn't take any medication at all for PTSD. When I was first diagnosed, I was given some medication, basically for the anxiety. But in the Army, I was so busy, so laser focused all the time, didn't really have time to impact me until afterwards. Once I got out of the Army, I was on, and I'm not going to go into details, but I want to give you a before and after type situation. So eventually I was on 60 milligrams of a certain medication. Well, after I moved into the RV, and definitely once I quit my job and was just total in vacation type mode, although not really, because you're living in an RV is different than vacation, but I was able to drop to 20 milligrams of that medication, so I cut it down by a third. And that's been great for the last couple of years. My personal issues have been anxiety, dealing with large groups, not like a grocery store, but being in an office with like 10 or 15 people around me. That was a stressful situation for me. Anytime a time constraints or stressful situation, that would always negatively impact me. I've had many a bad dream and sleepless nights over the years, and I would say self-harm, not physically, but things like, you know what, I'm just not going to sleep tonight, I'll go to work tomorrow with no sleep. Well, I knew that was going to harm me, but I would do that. Or hey, I'm just going to drink through this Friday and Saturday weekend, and I'll wake up Sunday afternoon and sober up and go to work Monday. So I did a lot of things that I knew were going to harm me, but that was in my intellectual mind. My emotional self was, do it, who cares? So this brings me to my current situation. And I have to say, making this video is really hard for me. I thought about doing it for some time now, but since it directly affected me recently, I wanted to get this out there. And it's hard for me to do because I take it as like a stigma, as an embarrassment, as like a failure on my part. But the reality is PTSD is real. It affects so many tens of thousands of people in different ways. And there is help out there. I did go through a lot of counseling and therapy over my first many years and even after the Army. And again, getting on the right medication and after that therapy, I've done very well. With only little minor issues along the way, but in the last couple of weeks, it really hit me hard. Again, part of it being only on a third of the medication, and the other part was not being in really a stressful environment for the last year and a half. The first 2 days of training, I missed. I called in and made up excuses, and literally after I'd shower and get dressed, I couldn't bring myself to go out the door. Well, I was able to go into training after that, and everything was fine. When I'm in there, I'm like, this is a great job, great people, no stress, I'll do great. Well, the second week, I missed the first 3 hours on Monday. I was able to catch up from those 2 days and 3 hours of work in that second week, but I was called in by a supervisor and given a warning that I can't miss any more days. They can't keep making up time with me, and that it just couldn't continue through the training period. So I thought, hey, no problem. Well, at the end of that second week, I didn't show up on a Friday. I physically could not get out the door. Those nights during the week, I was barely getting 2 to 3 hours sleep, with my mind going into a spiral and a hurricane, tornado, whatever you want to call it, of issues with work that were just in my mind. I told myself, when I get to work and I'm doing the work, I'm fine. But my mind ran rapid with negative thoughts and very little sleep. So on that Monday of the third week, I knew I was going to be let go. Or at least I thought I was. Again, me thinking negative and probably facing the reality that, yeah, they're going to let me go because I've missed too much training. So I went ahead and told them I'm going to voluntarily resign. This was and still is a tragic, major blow to me, because this was a fantastic paying job, working remotely, weekends off, in an industry dealing with customer service and billing that I could do in my sleep, literally. But there it was. So that's part of the reason I fasted for 5 days. I wanted a kind of a clean slate. I also prayed a lot. And it was hard for me to pray because God, I believe, gave me this perfect job. He opened the doors for me to be successful, to get this job that would catapult me forward in a positive way for years to come. And I let him down and myself down. I also determined that for my health, mental and physical, I was only going to drink beer 1 day a week on Fridays. Some of you have noticed that I lost a little weight. Some of that is eating healthier. The other part is I'm not having a couple of beers every night of the week anymore. But so here I am. I can't go back in time. I can't change anything. All I can do is stay positive and look forward to a positive future and try my hardest to get a new job. So that's what I'm going to do. Move forward, stay positive. If you think you may have PTSD or you know someone that does, please get help for it. There is help. There's helplines. I've called many a helpline in a time of distress over the years that are 24/7, somebody there you could talk to in case you can't talk to a friend or a loved one. If you are a friend or a loved one and see somebody in distress, even potentially suicidal thoughts, reach out to them. Talking to them is not going to hurt them or push them to do anything negative. It's only going to help them. So I've laid my cards on the table, and now we're going to be moving forward. Ninja and I and thinking positive thoughts and looking forward to the next job that maybe there's a reason I'm doing this and having this happen. But I just wanted to lay it out to you all. Thank you for watching. God bless. Be positive, be nice, be active.